What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what the new meta weapons are and my class setups for each of them following the most recent update. If you guys were unaware, last week they nerfed the AMAX and made several adjustments to many other weapons, including Cold War assault rifles, which kind of bumped them out of being the top tier close range options, and now a lot of players are going back to submachine guns. So I'm going to have my class set up for pretty much every meta SMG, along with what I think the top assault rifles are currently. If you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below what your favorite class setup is to use after the most recent Warzone update. So for starters, the AMAX got a nerf, but it's still incredibly relevant and probably the best medium to long range weapon in the game still. Our class setup with that has not changed. It's going to be monolithic suppressor, the Zodiac barrel, the VLK 3X optic, the 45 round mag, and the Commando foregrip. So the standard AMAX loadout that pretty much everybody has been using. When they nerfed this weapon, they only nerfed its damage by 1 point at its last drop off. And what that really does is just make it take an extra bullet or two to kill at longer ranges. And then it also makes the headshots less melty. But at close to medium range, or just medium range in general, the AMAX is still one of the best, if not the best, assault rifle in the game. And since a lot of people are accustomed to it, I don't think this nerf is going to make people move off of it just yet. Although there are some good options out there for replacements, such as the AK-47 or the Ram 7. For the AK-47, which is also a top tier assault rifle currently, if you can manage the recoil, it did get a slight recoil buff in the most recent update, but I still don't like using it with the 3X optic. My personal favorite setup is agency suppressor, liberator barrel, 45 or 60 round mag. You can go either way on that. A sight of your choosing. So I'm using the red dot in this gameplay. I've also tried the Cold War equivalent of the holographic sight. I know some people like the SUSAT multi-zoom and others do like the 3X optic, but the AK has a lot of recoil. So the optic you choose is going to probably vary from person to person. If you do want to use the AK, it's probably going to take you a little while to find out which optic suits you best, but this is a really, really powerful weapon, really melty, and I know some people are continuing to use it as their close range option in Warzone. And then the next assault rifle we're going to talk about is going to be the Krig. The Krig is good. It's solid. It's really low recoil, and if you hit a headshot or two, it actually has a really decent time to kill. Our attachments for that are going to be agency suppressor, Ranger barrel, axial arms 3X optic, 60 round mag, and the field agent foregrip. And coming from the AK-47 or the CR56 AMAX, the Krig has a much higher bullet velocity. It has a bullet velocity more similar to the Kilo. So this gun is a laser. It feels hit scan when you're using it, and it's really nice going from the AMAX, which has 900 meters per second bullet velocity, to the Krig, which I think has 12 or 1300. It just feels so smooth when using the Krig. And if you hit a headshot or two, like I said, the time to kill on this weapon is really decent. If they hit the AMAX hard, I think this would have been the next meta weapon, but they didn't hit the AMAX hard enough, so the AMAX remains viable, while the Krig itself is also viable. I think all of these three ARs are all good. And then for honorable mentions as far as ARs go, the Ram 7 is really good. The M4A1 is still good, and the Kilo is still good. I think that those are probably the top six. The AMAX, the Krig, AK-47 from Cold War, Ram 7, Modern Warfare M4, and then the Kilo. Those are probably the top 6 ARs in the game right now, and all of them can be used. They're all viable. So now we're going to get to submachine guns, and this is something that is really wide open right now. Some people are continuing to use Cold War ARs. I'm probably going to have another video on that in a day or two. But for the SMGs, you can really go either way. My personal favorites have been both MP5s, so the Modern Warfare MP5, the Cold War MP5, and then the LC10. Those have probably been my top 3 SMGs, but I'm also going to show my class for the Bullfrog, the MAC-10 as well. So for the Modern Warfare MP5, nothing has changed. I'm going to be using monolithic integral suppressor, Merc foregrip, 45 round mag, 5 milliwatt laser, and sleight of hand. This is the Modern Warfare MP5 build. Everyone's been using it forever in Warzone. It's really tested. It's really good. Everyone knows it's good. It's just been solid the entire time that the MP5 has been in Warzone, and nothing has really changed with this weapon. So Modern Warfare MP5 is still top tier. If you don't know what you want to use and you don't really want to experiment or level anything up, if you've been playing Warzone for a while, you're probably accustomed to this weapon, and you probably have it leveled already. So the Modern Warfare MP5 really isn't going to let you down. It's the cookie cutter, pretty much perfect SMG in Warzone. It doesn't have the range of the others, but it does kill really fast up close. And for what a lot of people envision their SMG to be used for, I think the Modern MP5 fits that perfectly. The next thing we're going to talk about is the LC10. This is one of those more ranged SMGs, and it did get a buff coming into Season 3, but a lot of people just flat out ignored that because the Cold War assault rifles were still really good. But for the LC10, I have Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, 55 round mag, Serpent Wrap, and Raider stock. And you'll notice that there's no grip. Even with Task Force Barrel, which adds recoil, the LC10 is really, really low recoil. So what you have with this SMG is really good range, really low recoil, and really good bullet velocity. And if you hit a headshot or two, it does melt pretty fast, but it doesn't have like the greatest time to kill when compared to like either of the MP5s. But the LC10 is certainly like a solid gun, and it's not really going to let you down in Warzone. It's just like, it's really solid. It's really good. If you can hit headshots with it, it kind of melts, but it's not going to just like melt people quite like either of the MP5s will. Speaking of which, next we're going to talk about the Cold War MP5. We're going to have Agency Suppressor, the Field Agent foregrip, 50 round drum mag, Raider stock, and Serpent Wrap. You could also cut Serpent Wrap and go Tiger Team Spotlight, but the main thing is you don't want a barrel because you want to take advantage of one of these blueprints that has open like front sights. This makes the Cold War MP5 much more usable, I think, when you get these improved iron sights. There's a few blueprints that have it. Just inspect the blueprint and look at the front and see if the sight is open. If it's like a full circle, that's not what you want. But if it's like a half circle, that's the like better improved iron sights. And with a lot of these blueprints, when you change the barrel, it goes back to the default iron sights. So we're not using a barrel so we can get better irons, but we're also not using a barrel so we can get another attachment. The barrel attachments don't really benefit the Cold War MP5 that much because it already doesn't have the greatest range. So when you take something with not that great of range and then put a barrel on it, the percentage increase you get just really isn't that large because you're already starting with a pretty small number. Next, we're going to talk about the Bullfrog. This is a really good SMG. It did get nerfed coming into this update, but it's still really solid. Mainly what was affected was the headshots. They're not going to be as melty anymore, but they are still really good. You want to be hitting headshots with this Bullfrog. And it also has a 50 round mag, so you don't have to use a magazine attachment if you don't want to, which is a really nice benefit. We're going to be going Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, Tiger Team Spotlight, Serpent Wrap, and the KGB Skeletal stock. So with the MP5, I was talking about you could use Tiger Team or Serpent Wrap, just depending on what you want to do. With this, you can use both because you don't need to put on a magazine attachment. You could put on the 65 round mag and cut one of them, but I prefer just to run with 50 and then get both those speed attachments, and it makes the Bullfrog feel really nice. And it is relatively low recoil, so you can get by without a grip, which is also a nice benefit. The Bullfrog is really nice. You want to be hitting headshots, though. The time to kill on this weapon is really nothing spectacular unless you're hitting headshots. So try to get a headshot or two when you're using the Bullfrog. The final gun we're going to talk about is going to be the MAC-10, and for that, nothing has really changed for me. I'm going to be using Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, 53 round drum mag, the Raider stock, and Field Agent grip. If you're really used to this weapon and you have a really good feel for its recoil, you could take off Field Agent foregrip and maybe put on Serpent Wrap or the Tiger Team. But I personally like to have the grip on it. This is what feels good to me with the MAC-10. It's not really a gun I use as much, but it's still a solid SMG for sure in Warzone, and you're not really going to go wrong with this SMG. So that is going to be the class setups that I'm going to be using. Like I said, I'm probably going to have another video going over the Cold War assault rifles and if they're still viable as SMGs. If you guys did enjoy this video, found it helpful, informative, whatever, please remember to give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, comment down below what your favorite class setup is, and I'll see you guys another time. Thanks for watching.
Right, we're in the safe zone.
They're running.
Noisy.
CDL skin down. He's behind this little pillar thing. Thirsted. He's ghosted.
Crack this guy. Precision on me.
Precision, got precision.
Ooh. What? The guy's on. They're sitting on the roof, on top of the roof, on the blue.
Oh, I think he bought his friends back. Yeah, he's coming behind us. I got the guy behind. Don't worry about him.
I'm hiding behind the load. Actually, they still can try to get me.
Hey, it's the same team. You said they were on.
Yeah, but I'm safe now.
Screw those guys camping on top of there.
Gonna spar some plates and ammo. And ammo, please.
Armor here.
I dropped D plates.
Up and sighted!
Still on top. I'm gonna airstrike it.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
You guys can push off of that.
I cracked him.
Because it's my
Knocked him.
airstrike.
Shit.
Stunned.
3 teams left. 7 people.
Yeah, they're above. I can hear them.
They're all
sniping.
sniping.
Receiving hostile fire.
I'm pushing it forward.
Yeah, I just beamed
Yeah.
one over here a little bit. Oh, there's full
I'm
team
gonna
sniping.
airstrike that hill, Preet. He's right here, Preet.
Friendly precision
Nice
Stun him.
stun. Thank you.
Knocked one.
I'm getting stunned to life.
airstrike remaining. Keep it up.
Knocked one more.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
This guy might be self-reviving on this.
Nice, good job.
Ah, dude, that game could